Alright, thanks to Heidi for videotaping this game. She did a great job. So, I think this game was a little bit of a missed opportunity in some ways, but we also did survive some things. Uh, Maybe could have had a better result, but it also could have maybe gone against us. So, we're going to go over the little things that we can do to help ourselves. I talked a little bit about throw-ins at practice and how we want to try and get the ball going up the line if we can't get it to someone who can settle it. So Tatum did a good job to get that ball down. But what we really want is a forward drawing in a defender and going straight up the line. Because that's where Tatum wants to go with it anyways. She turned up the line, gets poked out. We want to find Jill in this corner. She's standing just out of your picture on the right. You just want to go straight up the line to Jill. Now, for some reason, the throw went their way. Maybe Mira stepped on the field. I'm not sure. So it's good. We're communicating. We're trying to stay organized in the midfield. Well done by Mira to not let the girl get a turn. And though the throw was good, and I think we need to do a little more to try and get it going forward instead of ducking out of it. And you can see how in this game it's going to become apparent. Any team that deals with a bouncing ball or a ball in the air more proactively and more aggressively, they make better things happen for the next 5 seconds. Just better things happen when you deal with the ball in the air. So right there, we were the ones that won the ball in the air, and now we are able to keep some level of possession, okay? We got to find a way out. Unfortunately for Avery, that is when she got injured, so... And this is where, you know, I really give her credit for trying to play on, for trying to fight on, and then really realizing there's just no way. So kudos to Avery for being tough. So right there, I want us to get the ball moving. I don't like this whole standing and waiting and looking for someone in the midfield. If someone's standing right next to you, we can get the ball going. I mean, look, just kicking it into the midfield would have been worse than just giving it to Anna, who kicks it out of bounds. So get the ball moving. It's a really important part of transitions. So this just turns into a scruffy mess right here, and we lose the ball. And it's all because if you go back to it, a pass in the midfield is scooped more into a teammate instead of passed on the ground. And once we start to lose control, a turnover of possession starts to happen, and then people just collapse on the ball, and everyone's on top of each other. So the simple passes need to connect. They need to. Really good run by Mira here. So understand it. She's willing to make the run. She's willing to go there. So we have to continuously look for her. And this is good. Double team them in the corner. Try and get the ball into a central area. So one thing that tends to happen is our midfield can struggle to get the ball to their feet because it's too obvious. If our defenders have it, it's too obvious that we're going to the midfield because our forwards aren't necessarily moving and trying to check into space or make a run behind. On set pieces like this, we want this ball to go right where it goes, but everyone is standing at the front post, so it goes over all of you and no one gets the ball. If 3-4 people are standing at that back post and Anna delivers that great of a pass, I think we score. So that's just a little tiny instance of where we do something kind of silly, and we did it multiple times in this game. Multiple times we got free kicks and we just didn't put them in the right areas. We either tried to shoot or we tried to kind of kick it sort of into the box, but with no real plan of how someone was going to get a shot. And so here, building out, we need to find midfielders right here. So if you're a central midfielder, you need to put yourself in an area where you can get the ball, turn, and go forward. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get into a situation where we have to try and just kick it. We really want to be able to pass through our lines. And like I've said, if we have 4 midfielders and we're outnumbering them, which in the first half we were, we have to use that. Second half, they actually changed it. Watching this video, you see they packed the midfield the same way we did. So then the game became who's going to be more solid with and without the ball. In the end, neither team totally was, and that's why it ended in a draw. So this is a good play right here. Ella, you need to make a run. Because the ball needs to get there. It needs to get there. But if we just sort of jog with the play and hope someone's going to just give it to you, it's really, really hard to really penetrate the defense. At that point, someone's going to make a run directly forward. I think if Ella sprints more towards the corner flag right there, Macy can just send one through, and now we're in. So remember, runs out of midfield need to be with speed and pretty direct, but also at an angle, right? You can't just run straight. So one thing to keep in mind is the shape of our midfield, especially on a throw-in. So right here, you can see, I think we're pretty well set, right? Macy's in the position as the open one where she can either win the ball if it goes through or as an option for a pass. And there's the option for the pass, which is great. Now we can penetrate. And this is where we want to calm down and just try and keep the ball and make sure that we give open options, right? If you're going to make a run, it's got to be through to where they can split the defenders, or you've got to give an option to feet where you're not behind somebody, right? We want to split them or go straight to feet. So here we have a throw in. Again, I would say just toss it into the corner flag. And that's why Jill used her body, gets herself into the corner, does really well to shield, and crosses the ball. Unfortunately, we don't have anyone there, but that's what we want to do on throw-ins. We really don't want to put it in a dangerous area where we're going to turn it over right away. We want to just keep inching our way up the field. And maybe once we're, maybe anywhere from right next to the corner flag to 10 yards away from it, that's when we can start throwing the ball infield. Really good play here. And then great stuff by Tatum to get herself up and do all this hard work to win a ball. But then that touch, right, gets away from her. And if you saw, Ella was top of the box. If we can get Ella the ball there, she's wide open, top of the box. I really believe she can score that. So what you'll see in this game is small technical things going wrong, and not terribly, but just a little bad touch at the wrong moment, or a pass after so much good play, a pass that just gets intercepted or just goes out of bounds. Those are the things that kept us from actually scoring, because a lot of the rest of the play was pretty good, right? A good ball into the box there. We're not able to get on the end of it, but Mira does really well to keep the pressure on, and we're in a great position here. Okay, so there's your warning. She has a long throw. When she really goes for it, she has a long throw. So right here, everybody drop to the max distance of her throw. At least, not everybody, but at least the holding midfield. So Macy right here, drop to the max distance because this is going right over your head. And it goes over Mira's as well. And now look how far they've gone up the field by just throwing the ball big down the line. Now we need to know where her max distance of throw is and actually get underneath that. Not be drawn so much into players running in because that's what they want to do, throw it over you. So the defensive setup on a free kick like this, everyone listen to McKenna. Listen to McKenna. If she wants, just be where she wants you. If she wants a wall, she wants a wall. If she doesn't, it's fine. She as a goalkeeper can make the decision on what she would like you to do in this situation. But one thing we now know as well is that if they get a free kick from there, looked to me like she was shooting that. So she's comfortable and confident that she can score from a long way out. And that's something that we need to keep in mind. So here, central midfielders, both Ella and Macy, we need you to be able to get the ball. And that is a dangerous ball. It's a really good touch to get it under control. But again, Ella, it's a sort of here somewhere in this direction, kind of asking for the ball instead of a direct run to where Macy can play you through. And that's what we want to be doing more, is the runs need to give the option for a ball that's just into the space, as opposed to a precise ball to feet. So we have good shape here. We've communicated well. People are marking. Do well to win the ball in the air and get it going in this direction. And you can see it's exciting for the team when we do that. So we have to keep taking confidence from how it feels to actually win a ball and what we can do when we go forward. This is good play, again, trying to just keep the ball and then pressure and then win it back. At some point, we got to try and go to the other side of the field. That's the main thing. Can we switch it? But again, great pressure by Mira, who had a really good weekend overall. And you can see how much it helps for our wingbacks to actually get higher up the field and help press and also get involved in the attack. Not a bad idea. Maybe we can help each other a little more with the throw to make sure it lands more at someone's feet as opposed to sort of at their knees or shins. Again, big throw. That's the danger. As Anna does well with that, but we understand like they can be dangerous just by a big throw. And then that one we don't deal with the bouncing ball as well. And well, that's a yellow card and what honestly most people would consider a good foul in terms of taking one for the team. So yellow card deserved, but I'm telling Macy right now, look, there's not much else you could have done. You tried. You were aggressive. At least you were aggressive. Now again, we see she just wants to put her foot on it and try and get it either really right into the danger area or on target. Again, bouncing ball, can we work together to win it? Yes. Layla, if you go to the beginning of that, right when the punt is made, Layla is sprinting. She's going forward. She's taken off to try and give an option. And then eventually, by continuing to run forward, she ends up being the person who is able to dribble the ball all the way into our box. So do not take for granted how important it can be to make forward runs from the midfield and out of it into the attacking areas. So really good ball. Well done by Peyton to try and follow it up and get a shot. But if you want to rewind that and take a look, I mean, both teams, it's a bunch of hands going in the air and people leaning back away and closing their eyes away from the ball. Any one individual who was going to go for it and run into the ball to try and get something on it, whether it's a shoulder or their back or their face, it doesn't matter. That person would have scored right there. So we also have to recognize that a lot of other teams suffer from the same thing we do, but that means if we get over it and actually try and finish a ball, we have a real good opportunity to score. Really good play by Sally to just shield the ball, be strong, and take a foul. One thing to keep in mind here, if you're going to take a free kick, ask for your 10 yards. Because what I see here, the referee does not do that. He just sort of walks away, and they get their whole team right at the top of the box. They are maybe 7 yards away. Makes it difficult, I think, for Sally to get a good look. Closes your angles, closes your view, really reduces your confidence in a lot of ways. So when we take free kicks, ask the referee for 10 yards. Pardon me for not noticing that in the moment. Sometimes I also just have faith that referees will just do that. And sometimes, we need to remember that there's times we just have to remind. So if you watch right there, everyone really well spaced, and that's why we won the ball back. And so that's one of those instances where we've dealt with a lot of balls, bouncing balls pretty well so far. But I've told you guys a lot of times, there's no reason to go running and into someone's back to try and get a bouncing ball. Because all they have to do is let it go by you and you're beaten. So you just don't let them turn. More than likely, they will miscontrol the ball and give you an opportunity to take it. But a lot of you still get very, anxious and eager to go and win the ball. And you don't need to do that, because once it goes by you, you're in big trouble. That one dealt with very well. Just clear it out. Another throw in. We can reorganize. Again, great job by Macy to actually get her chest on it. And this ball needs to go. It needs to go to Mira as fast as possible. But it's a small thing, like the technical thing. Sally's first touch was a little bit out of her, was a little bit backwards. Then Anna's touch was sideways down the line. Instead of us being able to do the little things that quickly, it just took an extra second or two. And although we made it down the field, we didn't really have a whole ton of control. So now we're here. Now we need to make sure we keep it here. So again, I like the balance. We've got people in the box, in front of the goal, top of the box. And the key here is that we're able to just find a way to get it into the danger area. So probably the easiest thing that we can do is throw the ball in to someone close, pass it right back to Mira, and let her smash one into the box one touch. That's probably our best bet in that area of the field, because we don't have someone who can throw, 20 yards, and so that's not a weapon we can really use. So we have to try and get a one-touch cross in the box. Again, she's got a big throw, and we deal with it, but now we're in trouble because the ball did bounce a couple times. And this is the thing we want to avoid. We just want to get underneath the first ball. I think Anna dealt with it well, and then Peyton, made up for her touch that got away from her pretty well as well. But there was a moment there where it looked like, uh-oh, they might get a through ball and get a run at us here. Really good play there by Sally to be positive in the sense that she was going forward, to be calm and patient in the sense that she wasn't dribbling right into pressure, but keeping the ball and waiting for support. And once Mira came, the pass was really good. And I think for everybody, Mira's run right there shows you why if you run fast, we can play you through. If you're jogging slow or just trying to follow the play, the through ball, you won't be able to get it because the defender will beat you to it. So once again, we know she's got a big throw. Get back to where you can get underneath it. Now, Macy knew and started moving, but here's the thing. The ball goes out for a throw-in. Don't walk until, she all of a sudden has the ball in her hands and then start running. Get into position right away because they just had a throw-in and 5 seconds later the ball's in McKenna's hands. So you can see how just this girl's long throws cause problems for us. Really good pressure by Chloe there because that's what helps us win this ball. It's really important for center forwards to be that energetic and trying to help win the ball back. And Chloe, in these few seconds, did it a bunch of times. And so now that we've gotten that work ethic, let's keep the ball. And that's brilliant play, really good. One touch cross right here. That would be ideal.
Hey, we gotta cross it. We got people waiting in the box. That's a lot of tic-tac-toe in the corner, but nothing.
There just needs to be, a little bit more of an urgency to how do you get it in the danger area? How do you put the other team under pressure? And I think in a lot of these situations, we're just a little bit just sort of slow and not as determined to make sure that we put the ball where they really don't want it.
I got one for you. Mira, get close to Anna. Close to Anna, Mira.
So again, we have a numerical advantage in the midfield. You can count it. It's right there for you to see. They have 3, we have 4. That means if the ball goes short, we move in so that we have the ability to get the ball on the ground and go forward. Instead, we've got Anna trying to chip a ball into Tatum, who's facing backwards, and now we're just making stuff up, and ball goes out of play. It needs to be a pass on the ground into the midfield and trying to find the open player who then can get us out. Again, if you see the forward runs there, they weren't really, everyone was kind of jogging, waiting to see where the ball would go. You got to make the run first. And then that right there, I think we're pretty lucky to not get scored on here. Good save by McKenna, but that was 3 people diving in, one after the other. Someone has to just try to run with her and slow her down.
Chloe, run off of that. Come on, Chloe. You should be right there.
So
Chloe,
this
get
is the
off.
thing that I mean about forwards working together on punts. I mean, that ball bounced 5 times, and had Chloe been running behind Sally in that moment, Chloe gets the ball, and I mean, with her speed, she could probably go and score a goal. So we need to not take those little opportunities for granted and actually make sure that we're working together to win that ball on the punt. It's such a dangerous little opportunity. Once again, same girl with the braids. Look how high we are. What on earth? I mean, she's taken multiple throw-ins. Every single one has been long. And, I mean, that really should be a goal. They should have scored right there. And if you look, Anna, at the positioning, Anna is actually not even goal side of the defender there, and you can't be offside on a throw-in. And it's their biggest thrower. And all of us, the midfield, the back line, everyone was just way too close to the ball. So that's just tuning out. I mean, it's the same person doing the same stunt over and over again, and it doesn't look like we're learning from it. And it's causing problems. Good job by McKenna there to try and bypass the defenders and go into the midfield because she saw someone open. It's fine. Once again, I see Macy wide open. That would be the key. So, look, on goal kicks, we want to spread ourselves out into a box in the midfield and see who's open. And that way, from the moment McKenna looks up to see who to kick the ball to, she can find somebody and she can play the ball to the correct side, and actually we can look like we're actually planning it out more than just kicking it one step at a time. Also, feel free to skip through these moments on this video. Use that right arrow button to just pass by these moments. I would edit them out, but also not the worst thing to be able to see the transitions and what we do in these moments if you're curious. Again, punt comes up, ball bounces. Both of our forwards are somewhere else, right? Auntie and Jill, you're both jogging sort of towards the play, and we need you underneath that ball, helping us win it, helping us run forward. And there, Jill, exactly the thing we want is to body the person, let the ball run down the field, and then you can go after them. That's a really nice little piece of filth to meg the girl right there. Take the foul and give her a yellow card. Lovely. Pretty much every free kick in our attacking half that we are looking to hit into the box, we want to treat it like a corner. You want more people at the back post, someone running the front, and the ball needs to go all the way in. I think I talked to Anna about not hitting a lazy ball in, but really trying to hit a quality ball into the box like the first one that she hit earlier in the game.
Well done, Mira.
Overall, I think we played just fine throughout that passage of play. The only reason they got forward was a couple lucky bumps, lucky ricochets. Macy unfortunately just stepping on the ball and losing it for a second. Unfortunate things, but I think, see, overall the pressure is pretty good. This is really good play by Jill to shield the ball, win it back, find a teammate. Well done by Ella as well. I mean, everyone right here, this is good play. This is really good play.
Go on, go on. Need a little more energy, everybody.
See, I think that's a good ball, but we need people to be running in advance for that ball. Like, that's the ball we want. But if everyone's standing waiting to see where it's going to go, we're not going to get there and be able to go score. We're just going to be able to go there and maybe pressure it and get a throw in, or have them give up, or have them take a throw in from here. Well done by Tatum to protect the ball, find a pass. Well done by Shyla as well. Good job by Chloe to get through. And now we just want to see if we can find the split, right? And it was pretty crowded in there, so not easy to find. So if the split isn't on, if it doesn't look like a ball that we know we're going to be able to connect, do what we've just been doing. Just protect the ball and pass it to open people.
Now, here's one thing you know. You're on kind of thin ice, right? So you can't go and kick someone out of the plate. You just gotta be on.
Okay, so they subbed off their left back, the girl with the big throw. So now we can maybe pinch in a little bit on their throw-ins. I mean, she's not going as long as the other one was, so this is probably the appropriate distance. She's not even getting a run-up. Just start noticing those things. Take a look. See the way people throw. The first throw that they take, if they huck it and it's a long one, that's your warning. If you see them stand at the edge of the line and throw to max 7 yards, you know that as well. Again, our throw in there, it was more infield. We want it to go up the line so that we can be running forward when we get it. So here, ball's out for a throw for us. Watch our two center backs. If the ball went out, somewhere close to where the ref is standing right now, and see how long it takes for everyone to sort of shift into position? Well, the other team has just walked with you the whole way, so they're ready. When the ball goes out, get into a good starting position right away, even if whether we have the ball or we don't. By the way, this is where the goal comes from. They just get this free kick here. Don't worry about the foul. I mean, I barely saw it. It seemed a little bump in the back. But this is a reason why it's important to try to be diligent when you're tackling people, when you're going for the ball anywhere within 30 yards of your goal, because every team's got someone who can do this. The other key is, once I said earlier, listen to McKenna on free kicks, and McKenna went and looked into her book on what she should do on free kicks. I think we all need to listen to her. If there's a shot coming from that far out, I don't know if having a wall makes any sense because you're blocking her view. I think McKenna can judge and save a shot from 30 yards. If it's savable, she'll save it. So that was a good play right off the kickoff to connect a few passes, and look where we are. In a good position to get the ball in the box, but our cross, a lot of our crosses, a lot of those final balls were just not powerful enough. They weren't struck with enough intensity to really make sure that they got to their destination. You see a few more times where that kind of happens. So one thing I'm telling Ella right there is that there was a bouncing ball and not much pressure on the other player. Remember, if the ball is bouncing when a player is in possession of it, they are not in control. So you press them when the ball is bouncing because there's a really good chance you can steal it. And if it's a defender, you steal it and we can create an opportunity to score. So you have to be optimistic about that. You see everyone's kind of strolling into position. And now we're ready, but it would have been nice to be set just a few seconds earlier. And this time we get beat by not even a long throw. So you can see how throw-ins, defending and attacking throw-ins, somehow keeps leading to either a good situation or a bad situation depending on how we do it. I mean, it's a throw-in, right? I mean, it seems innocuous because it's way on the side, far from goal. But the reason is everyone is packed into that area. So if it gets out, the team with control of the ball is going to get forward. Pretty good determination by Chloe and everyone else in this situation to try and get the ball away, to try and defend it. It was a dangerous ball into the box, and so, the fact that we're doing what we can to sort of deal with the pressure that comes from a corner and sometimes in the aftermath of a corner, I think this was good. And now it's our ball. Once again, I would say take a look at Ella right now. Ella, if you were to look around you, you would notice that you have a really good opportunity to get the ball. But also does Shyla at the top of the box. Instead, pass to Anna. Anna kicks it up the field, and it goes out of bounds. We have a numerical advantage in the central midfield. Use it. And halftime's coming up here in around 30 seconds or so. And I think one of the biggest problems for us in this first half is we did not use that one player advantage when we had the ball. I think we were a little bit too direct. We tried to go wide way more often where they did have players covering. And I think that it's interesting to see in the second half, they actually changed their formation. They put 4 players in the central midfield to mark up on each and every one of you. And that's why things got difficult. So, look, teams are going to wise up to us from time to time, which means we really have to make use of our first half. Right there, free kick. It shouldn't go straight. It should go back post into the space where we can run and get it. As we saunter onto the field for the second half here, look, we lost the first half 1-0. We win the second half 1-0. But I think we actually played in a lot of ways much better in the first half than the second. If their finishing was any good, they should have beaten us. We give them a lot of chances in the second half, mostly from being somewhat disorganized. And I think a lot of that came from not really much communication from the center backs. And then in the midfield, we started to just not be as organized. We started to make mistakes in terms of who we decided to mark, and it put us in a lot of trouble. And I mean, you see right off the bat here, we don't look as up for it as they do. I think, they came out for the second half a little bit more energetic, and really quickly we're dealing with, I mean, they score. Luckily for us, that girl was offside by a hair, probably. I mean, I don't think anyone on the field saw it. And we got bailed out by this assistant referee 2 more times. There's 2 more offside she calls that I am not sure if they actually were. So, we need to be up for it. And I'd say right off the bat, we're struggling. So we're lucky. We're only down 1-0. We can still come back into this. But we need to up it, right? We've just gotten a warning. We need to get better at it. That's one throw-in that bounces, and Auntie sticks her leg out to try and get it. That one, once again, it gets by. The defender gets it. Because Ari's throwing it up the line, we're still going forward. But at some point, we need to be the ones to get that ball. So we need to stop throwing a leg out to the side and actually get our body behind it. Some of you did that well today. Some of you didn't do that much at all. And it really kept us from being able to control the ball in areas where we'd be able to make something out of it. This is good pressure on the ball. Good idea to set a play up. I think that's good defending by them. And there, I think Tatum just relax. You've got the ball, you've got control. No need to kick it anywhere. Good idea, Shiloh, to go left foot straight down the line. It's the right call. Got to just wrap your foot around it entirely. Really good idea by Peyton to send Auntie through, but again, this is where forwards, you need to be optimistic. When the ball is at the defender's feet, it is not on a different field. It's just you're one layer further from the ball, but that doesn't mean it can't come to you, and that doesn't mean you can't make runs that they can find you with. I think our forwards a lot of the time expect through balls and passes to them to come from the midfield, but it doesn't need to be that way. And so therefore, forwards, you're static a lot of the time waiting for the ball. And defenders have it. All the midfielders are marked. You're the option if we can go by. So you have to be making yourself available all the time while staying up in your position. So we've defended this situation really well so far, but start taking a look in the middle. I think that because we felt like, we always have someone free, someone was always trying to be free. Well, look around you. If there's 4 people in the midfield and you see 1 or 2 of them are open, you have to mark up. So again, there, this time Auntie did well to get her body behind the ball and chest it, but then, we're still swinging at balls when they're in the air. We're kind of panicking. Use your body, shield them off, protect it, and you're going to be okay. Don't panic. You're going to be fine. If you have the ball in your possession, do what you can to keep it that way. Again, good time to skip through. In the future, I will edit these games a little bit, edit the videos a little bit more, just to put them into chunks. But I kind of just want to get this one out to the players, out to all of you, so that you can watch it and try to learn from it for this weekend. Overall, that was a good play. Take a throw in quickly. Find someone who can try and turn, get it into the middle. Ante in the danger area gets a pretty good shot off, actually. I mean, if that's anywhere but at the goalkeeper, it probably goes in, because notice that's not a real goalie. I think one thing we did not take advantage of was that simple fact that they did not have a real goalkeeper, and we really didn't get that many good shots. I mean, the goal we score comes from her basically letting a rolling ball run through her legs. So, recognizing when a goalkeeper is not the real goalkeeper and how you can put them under pressure. You have to shoot more. You have to get more crosses in the danger area where she has to come and maybe deal with it. And we didn't really do much of that. This is one of the chances that they got. Really fortunate that she dribbled way away from the goal and then took a poor shot, but this was starting to come from either not marking in the middle, or it was coming from our two center backs being not connected. There were a few times where you guys were way out of position from each other, right? Where I think Peyton would be advanced 20 yards to be basically playing holding midfield, and Anna would be playing, right center back. And we just looked totally unbalanced like that. So look, that is the type of toss that she gives, and our pressure is so light. I mean, it took forever for us to really get over to this ball, and we won it so easily. It's just it's a certain level of energy and just desire, urgency to win the ball back. That if we have it, we will create turnovers. Right, Shiloh doing really well to step in right there. I like the idea to head it back by Ante. But again, look, I mean, Peyton is supposed to be a center back. I mean, that looked like a center midfielder to me. And so now again, we survive another breakaway. But what I want to know is, where do we start to communicate at this point? You can't just get disheveled as a team and stop communicating. So Anna, being the center back, if Peyton starts wandering into midfield, you tell her to come back. There's 4 midfielders. We do not need a center back becoming another. And now we start to do weird things, right? No pressure on the ball right there. No one was marking a center forward. And for the third time in about 5 minutes, they've got breakaways. And our decision making is starting to get very weird, and our organization's all over the place. And it doesn't take long for us to almost completely capitulate here and fall apart. Um, this was not a period of dominance by the other team where they just started to outplay us. This was we were making really silly errors, not communicating, and then getting into a lot of trouble. Ball's in the corner here. We cannot let this ball get out of the corner. We really can't, just under no circumstance. Unless it's us who wins it, which is very good. And so right there, Ari got the ball. If you were to look up in that moment, there wasn't much movement, not much movement to give her an option. And so we sort of turn the ball over. Now, here is where we get a string of free kicks over the next few minutes here, and every single one of them we made the wrong decision. So here's what we need to do on this one. Ball central. Whoever's standing right in the middle at the top of the box, basically Shyla, I think Tatum, you're in the wrong spot. Sally being at the back post, and so we're subbing, but Sally was in the right position, and that's where Jill's going. But we've got 2 people here. We've got Chloe and Ella standing sort of between the ball and the goal. There's no way we can get you this ball. So Macy kind of just doesn't know what to do, kicks it into their wall. We can make better use of that. I would say get from that distance, if we're not shooting, just get the ball moving. There's a great touch there by Layla to get us going up the field. We want to get the cross in early, but if you heard me say, Jill, you're offside, if Layla had crossed that ball to Jill, well, they would have got a free kick because it would have been offside. So we need to always remember, give someone the best option they can to give you the ball. If you're offside, you're hurting that. So here they call a handball. We get another free kick. Look how, right when everyone starts moving, everyone runs forward, things open up. Look at Mira on one side, look at Ari here on the other. Because they have packed the middle, going wide is the best way. And again, we just kick it straight to the top middle of the box. There's where the ball should have gone from the very beginning. And we get another one. Please, goodness sakes, take a look at Mira or Layla at the top of the box right there. They're just wide open, completely wide open. That's where the ball needs to go. Instead, and okay, look, I did just say, we got to test the goalie. It's good to shoot. But why not play the ball out to someone who's at the top of the box wide open, and then they can either shoot or they can pass. So they got 3 breakaways in a row, and it almost looked like they were about to run away with the game. And then right after that, we go ahead, we get up the field, and there's just this relentless string of pressure. And so please understand that we create most of our own problems. We rarely get just routinely outplayed by teams. We rarely get beaten in bad ways. We make mistakes. And that's okay. That is a huge part of the game. We need to learn from them, though. Make sure we're constantly trying to pick up little pieces of information and collecting the data that helps us figure this stuff out. This is just Macy being strong and combative, and that's what it gives you. Right, running through the ball, going after it. She, earns us a throw in here. So again, the throw in, we want to try and get it right onto someone's foot. It's well done by Ella to clean it up, and a good cross. That was the right type of ball. And again, that was good defending, good defensive work, good pressure. Again, really good play. Decent idea to try and find a pass into the box. But again, our crosses were just not really into dangerous areas. So we kind of let them off the hook when we got into good positions. And that was really good play as well. Decent idea to go wide. Well done to get it there, and these are good ideas. We're playing pretty well at this point. We just need to be able to carve out a final opportunity. Ari's the open one. We want to find her. Now you have a 2v1 over here. Ari's able to dribble straight into the box. So for Ari and Mira, remember, if we can get control of the ball and be passing it around, you are the key. We can get you involved, and you can create those kinds of overloads. So yeah, Ari chose to dribble into the box, which I think was great. Also had the option of Chloe if she wanted to. So that's the reason why it's good to bring them forward. So this throw here, we allow to bounce 2, 3, 4 times. They put us under more pressure. And it's, again, an example of little tiny things that end up causing us problems. Either we're letting the ball bounce on throws or punts. We aren't really controlling even just a simple bouncing ball. We get disorganized for a few minutes. We lose our marks. We stand way out of position. Little tiny things like that. They end up causing us the goals that we get scored on. Rarely is it because, or the reason we struggle to win the game, and it rarely is because we have just, been just thoroughly outplayed by our opponent. So Jill does a really good job right there of receiving the ball, turning, finding Layla. Layla tries to put a ball in the box. It's not the best, but it's the pattern of play that matters. Jill does a really good job to follow up and score. But, Jill receives that ball right in the midfield, shields it, finds a teammate, and Layla here, the key is she's running forward, being positive. And it's what leads to a goal for us. We totally deserve to score. But did we deserve to win? I'm not so sure. I think we could have done more to make a case for that. So there's about 20 minutes left. There's not a whole lot really in this game that's super intriguing to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here in the next 10-15 seconds. But I just wanted everyone to know what the things are that I see here. We are going to talk about them. We already have talked about them a little bit and worked on them. And yeah, hopefully we can go and get a good result. We need to get some wins this season. We haven't been able to yet. It'd be really nice. All right.
Shyla, organize and hold. Mike, you take the responsibility to be the deep one and you organize everything, okay? Just, hey, Shyla, just don't shut up for the next 20 minutes.